And then this whole cartoon is like stolen assets,
When we get to the blockchain hills, you're gonna understand what I meant
which
by
is very
first-class crypto lifestyle, man. Hey,
indicative
Martin,
of
please get us a car, would you?
NFTs.
Yes, sir.
Everybody is here. Carolyn,
Think
here
of
he
how
is.
much they had to steal to
Hi.
make it look
Hi,
this
Mr. Adams.
good.
Nice to see you, sir. Did you have a good flight?
Oh yes, excellent.
It
Thanks for
looks
asking.
this good because
Great.
they
Here
stole
are your
stuff from
keys.
other people.
Not your keys, not your bitcoins. Seriously?
Your keys, your Bitcoin. Not your keys, not your Bitcoin.
Where do you come up with these crazy ideas?
Anime review. Okay. Let's talk about Orbital Children. Orbital Children is a mini-series that dropped on Netflix. And if I have to surmise that, it's okay. It's funny because I was worried about it being very shallow thematically with just moon men racism. And it got a lot more than that. So it's about these kids who are traveling in space. Some of them are from space. Some of them are going to space through a program thing. But the whole time there's this AI called Seven that apparently holds this like prophecy that's called like the Seven Poem, and basically it is if I had to say good things about Orbital Children's Repeat, the world building is pretty unique. I'm glad it doesn't completely forsaken modern technology or modern influences in technology. You see a lot of brands, you see a lot of applications of cell phone, though futuristic. They are still using a phone per se. Social media and other things that are growing with the times that are definitely going to be around in some capacity. It all feels like an organic transition into the future. So I do give Orbital Children credit for that. I think to be tackling the themes and assertions and messages that it is in a very youthful palette is quite impressive. That it doesn't feel too convoluted, it doesn't feel too preachy, it doesn't feel too morally high-horsed. It's pretty good overall, and I definitely like what it's trying to do. That said, the animation can be, it goes from movie quality, which obviously it played in theaters, so I expect that. A lot of the 3D integrations really well. A lot of the models are a tad stiff. Things like hair that like barely moves can be infuriating. As well as if you pay attention to characters who are not the focus in scene, they either barely move or in very awkward poses, which again, that your eyes shouldn't be wandering there, but it's things like details like that definitely doesn't make it feel super amazing in terms of how everything looks. There's like right before the last two episodes, it's just so goofy, and it's a very goofy show. And I mean, nothing against that, and it's obviously aimed at children, Orbital or not. But yeah, it's just sometimes to be doing these complex narratives and themes and have it be taken seriously, but most of the show is just like wacky kids in space that feels like it would not even be PG. It has very PG-13 messages, but a very G feel to it, which doesn't feel right. But all in all, Orbital Children is pretty alright. If anything, it got me interested in Dano Coil. As it seems like that is the more mature
Restaurant. You're gonna love this, Christopher. To the moon! You little bot. Jim, any tables available?
Well, we can set up the 12 if you want.
Alrighty. Here
Oh,
we
now
go.
they're stealing music from Wham. This is Club Tropicana.
Here's the order book. For startups, I would
They don't
suggest
have
the
they can't
10K
use that.
Bitcoin pizza.
Uh-oh.
Lemonade,
Thanks.
Did Wham just... Because this is re-up... Did Wham get this video taken down?
fresh soda.
Is Wham saving the day?
Oh, I'm sorry.
No.
Oh,
please,
finally,
go
a
ahead.
romance.
I'm not a fan of forks, you know?
Oy, 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 oy.
Oh, he's like awkward against
Thanks.
the cute
Enjoy your
girl
meal. See you around.
who looks like she's 16.
While you were too busy doing your impressive wordplay, I went ahead and ordered for you a 10K pizza and a bubbly mutant serum for you. Bon appetit.
Make sure all the boys are feeling gross. And yeah, well, let's get a boomer. Let's get a boomer out here. Usually I like fast boomer, but considering that he's not going to be up front, it might make more sense to I think increase his range and go for the Crocodile Dundee. There we go. Get Crocodile Dundee out here.
What next?
Alright, another movie to talk about. Let's talk about Green Snake. So Green Snake I heard about, and I was right, as in this was the one that I was interested in, because I saw it on Netflix. I did mess up, as this is the second film in a film current duology, probably eventually becomes maybe it'll eventually become a trilogy or more, who knows, I don't know, based off Chinese mythology, folklore. Green Snake is about a pair of sisters who almost have like a Disney princess-like story, which is White Snake, about one of them falling in love with a guy, and despite their differences, getting together. This is more about the sister. I think the sister, at least, I think it's different, but I think in the dub it's like Verti. It's like green, and the white one's name is Blanca. which I cute naming convention. And this is a drastic departure from the Disney fairy tale ancient China aesthetic, and through some magic portal, Verti basically goes to a cyberpunk future, and it's crazy. It's like a modern day abandoned city, and she just meets these other people. And I think from hearing the movie, Green Snake is pretty neat but flawed. I think it's interesting because it's not a conventional story, and I think that's what Disney and some of the American animations fall too much into doing. Something that's safe, predictable, formulaic, and that's what Green Snake gets away from. Nothing in Green Snake is by the numbers, by the book. It's not predictable. You don't exactly know where it's gonna go. And the consequence of that is Green Snake is not the best writing, and it's a very sloppy, messy, where you just feel like you're bouncing around from location to location, and some things are just not set up the best. Some things are just kind of, you kind of just go with the flow of the movie, which is a very neat thing, and I think it's cool that we're not, you know, locked into this necessary to follow conventional story. It's can be frustrating at sometimes, as you know, they just can't completely pull it off. I gave it I think a 7 out of 10, which I think is generous, but again, it's a really neat film. It definitely takes you places where you didn't think you were gonna go. There's some twists and turns here that were definitely some interesting choices, and at the end you're like, it's a satisfying adventure. And the animation is, I think Chinese animation knows how to make some of the coolest looking clips of animation. Like, some of this movie looks absolutely stunning and gorgeous, and it looks really neat, and it's really cool to see the environments or the particle effects or the action. And then, like, it obviously doesn't have the polish. Like, some facial expressions look off. Sometimes the character moves a little bit in a jerky manner, and I like, you can always tell that some scenes took priority over the, you know, others, and that's not necessarily bad. Most people are just gonna remember how awesome it looked in some scenes, and some people will forgive that looked a little iffy, that looked a little off. But yeah, overall I forgave all that. Green Snake, pretty good, pretty chill.